The Patreon pick this week, as requested by our favorite patron, Mr. T, thank you for the request, was the 2006 film Apocalypto. And if you also want to get your movie in our raffle, just like Mr. T, go to guaps.com/Patreon or patreon.com/Guapish for $1 a month, and we might just watch your movie. Let's toss it over to Tanner. Please go with the plot synopsis.
Apocalypto is the whimsical tale of our protagonist, Jaguar Paw, who gets captured by the Maya or something in, like, ancient, the jungle. And he gets taken to be sacrificed, except a eclipse happens, sparing his life, and then he manages to run away into the jungle, and then he's getting chased through the jungle for a while, and he kills everyone, and then the movie ends with him witnessing the oncoming, the interaction between the old world and the new, and us, the audience, are like, oh, that entire thing was pointless. Interesting. Fun fact... the Jaguar chase scene was basically real, with the Jaguar just being on a tether.
Oh
my god.
That's horrifying.
That sounds horrifically dangerous. I'll say that's a good fun fact right there. That's some good eating. Tanner, what are you putting this one?
I'm currently sitting at an A+.
Holy smokes. Dylan, how about you?
That's good to hear, Tanner. I actually enjoyed this movie quite a bit, more than I thought I was going to well, not before watching it, but going into it. I gave it an A-, personally.
Jackson?
I'm at a B+.
Dude, I'm also at a B+.
Dude, we're all pretty close. Obviously, I liked it quite a bit more than you. It's, exciting. It's very immersive. I think they do a great job, creating... almost a grimdark version of this period of history, and it even though I'm sure it's littered with inaccuracies or whatever, I'm watching, I'm like, okay, I get it, I get the vibe. It's it's pulling me into the world, and I think it's a very well realized world, and it's heart pumping, and you can't wait to see what happens next, and you're looking on with all the horror and whatever. And I think this fucking ending is badass. I love this ending, unironically.
I have been, funnily enough, seeing clips of this ending so often recently on Twitter, of course, and I can never figure out. Nobody in the fucking comments is saying where it's from. And then I was watching this movie, and I was like half an hour in, I was like, wait a fucking second. Is this the movie that has that ending? I got to it and I was pogging. I agree, the ending's cool. I think the thing that sold me the most on this movie and why I enjoyed my time with it is just the set design, the acting. Like Tanner said, it's very immersive. The costume design. It's just fucking cool and well done. There are certainly some things that took me out of it, like some kind of bad special effects things they do. I mean, it's 2006, so I can't even really knock them a crazy amount, but for the most part, it's a pretty good looking movie. It takes down a really fast-paced thrill ride throughout this time period, and it's just an entertaining watch, I would say. I think one of my biggest qualms is that I can't tell fucking any of these people apart. So when we got to the people, the final dude, Jaguar Paw, running away, I genuinely, who the fuck is this dude? And I realized it was the chief's son of that the villages that got raided, or when they had the people that came through the first time when they were out hunting. I think one of those dudes he had spoken with when they were both captured later on by the Mayans, and I was it took me a second to even realize who the fuck that was. I'm trying my best. They all dress the same. By that I mean they don't dress. They all have the same fucking haircut. It makes it hard.
And the same horrific face modifications. What's up with all these piercings they're putting in themselves? It looks uncomfortable, frankly. I would not be very into that one bit.
Random aside about uncomfortable things. Was that mom using an ant to pinch up a fucking wound?
Yes, and that actually is a real thing they would do.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was very creative when I saw that part. Yeah, I guess let me get into my general thoughts, I suppose. I liked... I mean, this movie had a lot of realism, I guess, at least to me. I don't obviously have any experience with any of this, hopefully. But, I felt like the pacing of the movie was good despite the actions that were taken. And, I think as far as practicality goes, I think a good sign or a good judge of practicality is how uncomfortable it makes you feel. And, like, I think one of the parts that stands out the most to me, aside from, like, the ant, like, head stitching thing, or, for the most part, the jaguar scene, there was that one bit where it was very obviously puppeted, but, like, obviously you're not going to be pretending to stab a wild jaguar for many reasons. The scene that stands out of my mind is when they're at the Mayan temple and they're sacrificing people and throwing the heads down the stairs and then the bodies. I think that part was really well done. Acting, I think, was pretty good. Like, they seemed like tribal people to me. I don't really know how else to judge that. And as far as maybe, I guess you could say, plot convenience, it's a lot of mythological things. Maybe it worked out in favor because we as the audience were supposed to believe in that kind of stuff. I remember making a comment in the general chat about what all it really takes to be like a chieftain or a shaman or whatever is to just be slightly more intelligent than the masses. And that's kind of one part I was questioning, is that the apocalypse scene that was mentioned, did any of those guys up on the temple, like, know, like, oh, something's blocking the sun, it'll go away, and then he timed it properly? Or is it just, like, you know, coincidental, you know, oh, if this is happening, you know, do yada yada. But, yeah, like I said, very well-paced. For a 2.5-hour movie, pretty solid. I enjoyed quite a bit of it, and, you know, made me uncomfortable, not too bad. So, thumbs up from me, at least.
I will say it's pretty effective at getting you invested in these characters. Like, even if I couldn't fucking tell any of them apart, I certainly did feel for them when they got captured, you know? Because, like, we were with them for a short period of time before they got, you know, fucking kidnapped. And I think it was just very effective. I felt bad for these people. And then it really feels like you're in their shoes. Like, again, with the immersion aspect and Dylan talking about the temple scene. Like, it really feels like you're in their shoes going through this fucked up scenario. You got a bunch of, like, close-up shots of people freaking them out, latching onto them. The fucking shots of, like, the heads on pikes and shit, you know. It truly does look like they're going through actual hell on earth, and it does a very good job portraying that.
And I remember one thing I was going to say. The title Apocalypto I found applicable to many portions of the movie. One of them being, obviously, our main tribe. Their world is coming to an end. They're experiencing their form of an apocalypse. They run into another tribe before then, where they also experience an apocalypse of some sort. And then going to the Mayan temple, like, well, I guess nothing really I suppose that tribe, I guess they're all Mayans, but, like, that big one, the conglomerate, they're experiencing some sort of apocalypse with their crops dying and people getting sick. And then you've got the group of men chasing our main character, and they're experiencing their own personal apocalypses, you know, dying, trying to run through the forest, chasing this guy down. They keep getting hit with natural, quote-unquote, natural causes, whether literal or not. And then finally, we have I mostly mean, like, he's, like, throwing bees at him, the jaguars killing him, the snake bite, and all that kind of shit. And then at the very ending, our characters don't know it. None of the characters in this movie are aware of it, but then we know the impending apocalypse that happens, entailing the fact that there are ships and the Spaniards showing up. Which I like how at the end of the movie, they didn't make it obvious. We as an audience were supposed to be like, if you know your history, even a little bit, you know the Spaniards eventually showed up to conquer and colonize South America. Which I thought was all very well done. I guess the only, because I did mention realism before, the only, like, minus I'd say to realism is when they were sacrificing people and they were, like, ripping people's hearts out. That looked a little, this is gonna sound stupid, it looked a little too clean, to be completely honest. Other than that, you know.
Dude, he's just had a lot of practice at that one,
he's done it to hundreds of dudes. That was I guess I'll say one last thing, unless somebody brings something up. I do like how this movie had me in anticipation for majority of it. I legitimately did not know what was going to happen next. I guess a standout scene in particular is, like, the children getting left behind. It was like, oh, are they going to kill the children? Are they going to leave the children? Are they going to kidnap the children? What's going on? And then, like, another scene is at the end where they separate the men and the women. The men go to be sacrificed, the women go to be sold. And then the main characters, or not the main characters, the one guy's, like, mother-in-law, is, like, put up and then like nobody takes her, and I'm like, oh shit, are they gonna kill her? Like what are the procedures? It's just the unknown that really draws intrigue to this movie, and it's like, no, they just let her go, and then you're like, well, how does their processes and systems make sense? And it just makes you want to learn more about the world, which keeps you actively engaged.
I was gonna bring that scene up too. That one was
Me too.
Very solid because, like, yeah, it's what the fuck is she supposed to do now? It's like she's been completely removed from her whole tribe. Everyone she knows is either a slave or dead now. It's like, yeah, here you go. You can just roam free. Go for it. Figure shit out. Yeah, you know, I found it very interesting how at the beginning of this film, our main character's dad, he tells him to, like, you know, not be scared of strangers and stuff like that. Like, you know, it breeds hate, whatever. It's terrible. But then he gets killed by, you know, these strangers and, you know, all of our main character's friends and loved ones, they all get enslaved and shit. It's like, you know, what did Mel Gibson mean by that? Strange. I tell you what, though, if I was alive during these days, I would 100% think the world was ending if I saw an eclipse. Like, even just, like, years back when we had the eclipse here, when I saw that, just, like, you know, with my current brain understanding exactly what an eclipse is, I was like, man, this is fucking eerie. I don't like this very much.
It is, total side note, it is crazy how cold it gets when eclipses happen, so that is totally understandable.
It's weird. It's very strange. Also, did you guys know that for Apex Legends, they had a skin that had Conquistador in the name, and some people on Twitter got into tizzy about it, so they had to change it?
Oh, yeah, I remember. That shit was stupid.
Yeah.
How'd they rename it?
I don't remember.
Oh, well.
They called it, like, Conquer or something instead. I'm kidding. That would be funny.
That'd be really funny. They should have done that.
That would have been great.
But then they still have, like, skins with Viking in the name and stuff. What's up with that? Anyway, This film was alright. I agree with most of the things you guys said.
Sick.
Do we have any other thoughts on Apocalypto?
I don't think so.
It's a fun thrill ride. I'm sticking at a B+.
Yeah, me too.
Upon talking about it further, I realized I don't really have all that much negative to say about the movie. It's not moving up a crazy bit, but, like, also A- might be a little harsh, just a tiny bit, so I'll just bump it up to an A.
And I'm gonna stick at my A+.
And it's sticking at the pile. A-. How exciting.
No way.
Shit.
The new pile.
Pile 2.0.